I enjoyed your reading it in the house. I like listening. I like listening to it.
Okay, well,
As long as I'm not,
we'll go in the kitchen and you can have a 3 hour. Are we ready to start?
Yeah.
So I got that much.
Well, I've actually brought my
Do you want a seat, Dad? We got a. Do you want
No, I'll have it standing up.
for 25 minutes?
No.
Okay.
No, it'd only be, we're going to do 2 sets.
Oh, okay.
We split it there.
You ready?
Yes.
Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my name's Charles Thomson, and I'm going to read some poems. And the first one's called Please Don't Blame the Poet. Please don't blame the poet for what the poet writes. Please don't blame the kitty because the kitty bites. Please don't blame the sun because the sun is shining. Please don't blame the cloud which has a silver lining. Please don't blame volcanoes if sometimes they erupt. Please don't blame the switchboard if someone sounds abrupt. Please don't blame the river because the river's wet. Please don't blame old people for times that they forget. Please don't blame the horse. Please don't blame the gun. Please don't blame yourself and don't blame anyone. Please don't blame the world for all its woes and blights. But most, don't blame the poet for what the poet writes. You're probably familiar with Shakespeare's poem, Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day, which this refers to. Shall I compare thee to a large intestine, or lumps of meat left in the bin to rot, or jogging pants that prisoners are dressed in? I think on second thoughts I'd better not. Shall I say you remind me of a boil, or smell like someone who has got gangrene, and that your face is like a pool of oil? I don't think I should say that's what I mean. Those things, I think, will not go down so well. I'm not sure why, I merely have a hunch. So those are not the things that I will tell. I'll think again while I sit down to lunch. I think perhaps it might be best to say, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Oh, this is called Fucking Ada, with apologies to... This is called Fucking Ada, with apologies to Ian Drury, who wrote a song called Fucking Ada. The trouble is I'm halfway between glasses and not glasses. We're doomed now they have met us. We know they're out to get us. Hide your jewellery and lucre. Pretend you're playing snooker. Who's that figure? It's Darth Vader. Fucking Ada. Fucking Ada. Woke's rampant. We're all failing. They think we're fit for jailing. They're waiting round the corner. They've just strung up Jack Horner. Now they're gunning for Ralph Nader. Fucking Ada. Fucking Ada. The pyramids are crumbling. Those in the lead are stumbling. Professor Jones is choking. He shouldn't still be smoking. So who is this Tomb Raider? Fucking Ada. Fucking Ada. The rats are big as houses and chimpanzees wear blouses. An infant rules the state. This is the hand of fate. The Lord's a market trader. Fucking Ada. Fucking Ada. Now time has lost its way. The future's yesterday. You won't get what you need. Each clock has its own speed. We're ruled by an invader. Fucking Ada. Fucking Ada. Vile devils swarm like ants, invading underpants. None knows what this forebodes. America explodes. Don't fear, I'm a crusader. Fucking Ada. Fucking Ada.
That sounded like a song.
You're welcome to say
We'll do it. We'll do it.
Emma,
You work the drums out, yeah?
Yeah, I will. I'll work the drums at the end, Julie.
Now most people when they do poems, they introduce the poem, which is really good and interesting. Then they read the poem, which is totally boring and crap. So I've actually written a poem saying what I've just said. So I'm not going to introduce my poems, because if I'm going to introduce them, I would put that in the poem. And if you have to have an introduction for the poem, well, just have the introduction and don't bother with the poem, because you've already written the poem in the introduction. So that's why these poems don't get an introduction, except I've just given one. This is called The Bad Actor. I saw a random YouTube video as usual. Most of the YouTube videos I watch are random. This was certainly not one I went on YouTube with an intention to watch. It was a play or a reconstruction of a psychopathic killer in a courtroom. The actor playing him was not very convincing. When he was asked horrendous questions like, why did you bind the victim's head with duct tape so she couldn't breathe? He replied indifferently, as if he were reading a railway timetable. There was no sense of menace, danger, or even coldness or callousness, just unassuming normality. I felt sure that even an amateur actor could have done better than this. After a few minutes, I realised it wasn't an actor. It was a recording in a courtroom of a psychopathic killer. This is slightly long. This is called Pushing a Trolley Around a Supermarket. This is a real-life poem, so I've given an introduction. I think it's fairly obvious, really. It's a real-life poem. Actually, this is true to life. Actually, everything in here is true. Possibly, or it could be made up. Might get into trouble. I was pushing a trolley around the supermarket so she could load her shopping into it. And having nothing better to do, I started dictating a poem into my mobile phone. Stop doing poetry, she said. You're terrible. Can't you wait till we're outside to do your poems? Write about the woman by the chemist products. She looked at you really weirdly when you were doing your poem. I think she thought you were talking to yourself. She moved away and then she turned around and looked at you again. I almost went up to her and said, have you seen a weird man round here? He's talking to himself. I think he's following me. Do you think we should get the police? What was worse was you were standing next to the women's period products. They were not allowed to call them that anymore. They've just brought out a range of sanitary products for trans men. Can't they just buy women's sanitary towels? Bloody ridiculous. Can you see any Earl Grey? Oh, it's here. Then she laughed. I almost put it in that man's trolley. He's old with grey hair and glasses. I thought it was you. I'm so pissed off at you. You're not helping. You're useless. But you didn't ask me to help you with anything, I protested indignantly, apart from the decaffeinated Earl Grey and the tofu, both of which I helped you to look for. What do you expect me to do? I'm just pushing the trolley round. She continued. And then the old guy wouldn't move, so I started getting pissed off with him as well. Men piss me off majorly all the time. I can't stand them. They're all grey men. I can't tell the difference between them when I'm tired. When you're on your period, you're exhausted. By then we were at the till and needed a member of staff to authorise her ibuprofen pain-killing tablets. As a joke, I put my hand in the air and waved, pretending to attract a member of staff. She burst out laughing and pointed. Coming towards us was a grinning assistant with a hand up in the air waving at me. I said, it's for my friend's drug problem. When we got home, she said to me, I was thinking of saying to the assistant, it's for my fucking agonising period pain. I wanted to kill you in the supermarket. I wanted to stab you in the chest with a leek. You're so annoying. You write down everything I say. What are you like? Have you put I wanted to stab you in the chest with a leek? You've put that in, haven't you? Have you put that in the poem? It's fucking tedious shit. No one wants to read that. I'm on my periods. I really wanted to read the cheese suite, but that's a bit long. I might even have time, so I thought I'd do some short ones. Now, I am going to give an introduction to this, because otherwise it will be a wind-up. It won't be fair on you. See, I know some people like poetry, it doesn't mean anything at all. So these poems don't mean anything at all. Well, I read it to Joe Machine, and I think he managed to work out something it did mean. You can choose. You can either have the interregnum of anticipation, field of rags, or intricate aspects of evolution.
The first one, I have a question. What's the first word of the first poem mean?
Interregnum.
What is that?
Inter means in between. Regnum means rule, so it's in between one
Thank you.
rule and another, one king and another, or one, one president and another. Call it interregnum. But
I vote for that one.
anybody else?
Yeah, I'll go with interregnum.
That's only because you don't know what the others meant. I'm not sure if that's the best one. We'll try this one. We'll try this one. So follow it closely, or you won't understand it, and you won't understand it even if you do follow it closely.
Anyway, don't ask us.
Okay.
Well, you take your turn in that one.
Who's doing this reading?
No, sorry. We're just, it's the peanut gallery talking. Sorry.
I'm getting bloody heckled already. I thought we got over that with Billy Childish. About 40 years ago. Right, now you've got to concentrate really hard on this one. Some of them you can just let coast, but this one, got to be right there. And you know what interregnum means now.
No, I do.
The interregnum of anticipation stares like an eel. I had not foreseen the duality of forsaking a thought, but nevertheless I was stifled with the memory of interminable conception, like Mercury. The wind did not achieve what tigers on Saturn could not, nor did any ship on cardboard oceans reach us, although we whispered to the jagged rocks which we had never seen. The culmination, this is a good line, this one. The culmination of embezzled archetypes.
Very good.
I'll do it, read it again, because it's so good to read it again. You can really work out this means fuck all. The culmination of embezzled archetypes means... I'll do it again. I don't normally read lines 3 times, but we're friends.
Yes.
And it's such a good line, I didn't realise how good it was until I read it out. Because the next line coming after is pretty good as well. The culmination... the culmination of embezzled archetypes...
Beautiful.
I'll do it again, 4 times. Take 4. The culmination of embezzled archetypes means nothing to sad statues. It wouldn't, would it?
No.
5th time. The culmination of embezzled archetypes means nothing to sad statues. This is quite good as well. The singing wolves and jetties create emaciated heavens. Now, ends lyrically.
Okay.
Wild angels and poor frogs.
I don't...
Say again.
You just get silly.
It ends really well. This is the end, this is the last 2 lines. Wild angels and poor frogs wear the fire of the moon. Right, we were talking earlier about rats. This is not an introduction to the poem, this is an introduction to us. How many have I got? Oh, doing quite well. This is called Rats, or should I read, I agree with Swell Braverman that homelessness is a lifestyle choice, or maybe homelessness is a lifestyle choice, or King Charles beheads me, or you want to write a poem about this. Any
Rats.
rats?
Yes, it is.
What?
Yes, it is.
You weren't listening to what I said, were you?
Not full.
No.
Okay, what titles did I say?
I just want to go through the 3rd one, but rats it is.
Okay.
I guess.
Charles, the beheading of Charles.
Good man.
It's one of them.
Okay, but you...
Suella Braverman.
I prefer rats.
Rats, okay, rats it is. Rats. You can't blame them. Obviously, you don't want one running around the living room or burrowing under your bed sheets or sniffing around the bread bin in the kitchen. But beyond that, you can't blame them. It's not as if they've got some vendetta against you and are doing all this just to disrupt your ordered life. They merely want to get on with their own life and forage for food. They don't realise it's your bread bin. They don't have concepts of property ownership. They probably do as far as their nests and their own food goes, but not houses, kitchens, sales contracts and so on. As far as they're concerned, there's no difference between your bread bin and your rubbish bin. They look after their young. You've got to give them credit for that. When you see one, they always look terrified, running in the opposite direction as fast as they can. At least the ones I've seen. Doesn't that evoke any pity? But I'm afraid we have to get rid of them. They carry disease. They seem to think it's quite okay to chew through electrical cables and cause a power cut. And they go where they're not wanted, which unfortunately for them happens to be everywhere. Their size enables them to do this, unlike, for example, foxes who can't squeeze through a small hole in the soffit or the skirting board. Some people keep tame ones as pets, but we're not talking about those types of rats. We're talking about the ones that you might see streaking across the road or underneath a bush in the garden or behind your television set. The pest control firm puts down food bait, which first of all makes the rats drowsy until they become unconscious and reach a painless death. There are other remedies to be found online, such as baking soda, which the rats will eat and which will indeed kill them with horrendous pain by swelling inside their stomach. I guess some people wouldn't care, but rats are sentient creatures. It's not their fault we don't like them. I don't suppose they're all that keen on us either. Pretty much dead on the first set of 15 minutes, so I'll come back later.
Nice job.
Well done, guys. Well done.
I've changed our song list.
Okay, just tell me what to play.
You're going to be the star.
Oh no.
Yes, it's
I don't know what that means.